Right, grade 12 economics. Welcome, welcome to Envisage Academia. Today we're going to be discussing the circular flow diagram. Right, now the main question, what is a circular flow diagram? What exactly are we talking about? What diagram is this? What is the point of this diagram? Right, great, what a great question. Now, the circular flow diagram. This is a diagram in economics, one of the most important diagrams to know if studying economics, right? The circular flow diagram, these are now shows the what? The flow of, actually, flow of money, the flow of goods and services in the economy, and most importantly, it shows the interactions, right? The interactions among the different participants. Like, this is a model of the economy in which now the major exchanges are represented as flows of money, goods and services, and etc. between economic agents, right? Economic agents. What are economic agents? The economic agents, we're talking about the different participants in the economy. One may ask, like, what are participants? What's really going on here? But now, let's take a better look at this. Right. This is a visual diagram that shows the relationship among different participants in the economy. We talk about the circular flow diagram. Now, the main question again, who are the participants in the economy and what are their roles? Right, the different agents. Firstly, we got what we call households. A household, this is you. How is this you? Because you are the one who goes to businesses to provide labor. You are the one who gives the businesses land. You are the one who, gives out his own capital. You are the entrepreneur, right? Right. Now, who are the households? These are the owners of factors of production. Households are the owners of factors of production. And what do they do with these factors of production? Remember, the factors of production. What are we talking about? We're talking about land, we're talking about labor, capital, and the entrepreneurial activity. Right. Now, let us take a brighter look at these households. What is their role, right? Households, they consist of one or more persons who live in the same housing unit, such as a family. So that's why I say you are the household, right? They own all the economic resources in the economy. The economic resources, what are those economic resources? We're talking about, like I said, we're talking about the factors of production. This is the most important point that you must know. Households are responsible for owning the factors of production, right? The households own factors of production. They use the remuneration to purchase goods and services in the product market. Now, which remuneration is this? This remuneration we are talking about, it is the remuneration that they get from selling their factors of production, right? Now, households as the owners of production, they cannot just sit with their factors of production and do nothing. They cannot just sit and not do anything with their factors of production. It won't get them anything in return. Now, they have to sell their factors of production in order to earn, in order to make a living, right? Right now, they sell these factors of production to the factor market. The factor market, it is this market for factors of production. The factor market will then sell these factors of production to the businesses. Households will then, in turn, get what we call remuneration, right? What is remuneration? Remuneration is a return. When you get something in return after providing a certain service. That is what you get. You get remuneration, right? The households get remuneration in the form of rent, yeah, right? In the form of rent, the labor, yeah, and the labor, wages and salaries. wages and salaries, right? And then for capital, they get interest. Interest, simple as interest. And then for entrepreneurial activity, they get profits. That is the remuneration that households get after selling the factors of production to the factor market. Right, now let us go to firms. Let us go to firms. Who are firms? Firms, we talk about businesses, right? Yeah, they are responsible for the production of goods and services. Right, remember, this is the second participants in the economy. This is the second participant in the economy. Broadly speaking, the definition of a firm in the field of economics is any company that seeks to make profit by manufacturing or selling products or services or both to consumers, right? Basically, that is all. Any company that seeks to make a profit, that is a firm. Any company that seeks to make a profit by manufacturing or selling products, goods and services, right? Now, what is the role of firms in the circular flow diagram? What is their role, right? Now, these ones, they are responsible for producing goods and services, right? Now, how do they produce goods and services? Do they just produce them at thin air? No, they use the factors of production. From who? From the factor market. Where did the factor market get those factors of production? They got them from the households. Now, firms make use of the factors of production from households, right? Here, this is an interaction, right? They make use of the factors of production from households to produce the goods and services. Funny enough, after using these households factors of production, they're gonna come again to households. Hey, households, we're going to sell the same goods that we used your own factors of production to you. Okay, it's fine. They sell goods and services they produce to households and the public sector in order for them to receive profits. That is just how it is. Households use the factors of production of, okay, businesses use the factors of production from households to produce goods and services. They then take those goods and services that they produced using the households factors of production and sell them back to households and firms, right? Moving forward. Right. Here we are going to go to markets in the circular flow diagram, right? We are looking at the different markets which are found in the circular flow diagram. What are the different markets found in the circular flow diagram? Yeah, the first market here, we're talking about the, let me remove this a bit, remove this. Right, clear. Markets in the circular flow diagram. Here, we are talking about the different markets that take place, so the different markets which are found in this diagram. Remember, the circular flow diagram, it consists of the different participants in the circular flow diagram. We find the different participants in there. We also find markets, right? Remember the different participants, we discussed them. We've got households. Hold on a bit. Right, let's go back and past the foreign sector. Right, sorry. Okay, this is where we were. Households sell the goods and services they produce to households and the public sector in order to receive the profits. Now, moving forward, the third participant in the circular flow diagram, we've got the government, also known as the public sector, right? Public sector. What is the public sector. What is the government? We know that the government is the government, the government, right? Now they are responsible. What is the main role actually? Now, this is what economics is interested in. We are interested in knowing what role is the government playing. Right now, the government, as we all know, most of us are aware, and this is an everyday thing that we see. They are responsible for providing public goods and services to households and firms, right? Government provide these public goods, these services that we all see. We've got roads, we've got public schools, we've got public hospitals, recreation, parks. Those are all the services provided by the government, right? Now, how does government get the fund? How does the government get the funds to produce all this, to provide all these public goods and services? Does it get them for free, or does firms just give them to government? No. The public sector receives taxes in the form of income, in the form of sales, property tax, and other types of taxes from households and firms. It then uses these funds to provide those public goods and services. Now, what happens? What happens if now these funds are not enough? What happens if the funds are not enough? Now, the government borrows. Please note, when the funds that the government receives in order to provide public goods and services are not enough, it then borrows. Right. Moving to the next participant, we've got the foreign sector. Foreign sector, this is where the action of importing takes place, exporting takes place, right? When particularly looking at this foreign sector, the circular flow is now divided in two economies. We've got an open economy and a closed economy, right? In an open economy, this is where now we recognize the existence of the foreign sector, right? Because in an open economy, this is an economy where now we are interacting with the rest of the world. Trade is going between many different countries, right? Two or more different countries. That is where now an economy is regarded as an open economy, right? That is where now we take into consideration we now take the foreign sector seriously. Now, what is the main focus of the foreign sector? The main focus is just basically the trade among the countries outside our country, trading with the countries outside our country, exporting of goods and services, the importing of goods and services, and also the payments. Remember, do not forget to mention the payments for those exports, the payments for those imports, right? Payment for those imports and exports are also regarded as the key role of the foreign sector, right? Now, it is also a source of interaction between the country and the rest of the world. That is basically it on the foreign sector, right? Remember, what are the participants in the circular flow diagram? We've got households defined, we've got firms or businesses, we've got the government, also known as the public sector, and the foreign sector, right? Now, we're passing on to the nuggets in the circular flow diagram. What are the different markets in the circular flow diagram? We've got five different markets in the circular flow diagram. Our first market, let us look at the factor market. What is this market? What kind of market is this? Right, now the factor market, this is a market that deals with, like, it is more self-explanatory. Factor basically deals with factors of production, right? A factor market is a term that economists use for all the resources that businesses use to purchase, rent or hire what in order to produce the goods and services. So like more basically, just on this market, right? Households sell their factors of production. This market gives the factors of production to the firms, right? Factor market, it allocate the factors of production and distribute income to the owners of these factors. Who are the owners of these factors? Households, right? Now, at this market just receives the factors of production, gives the households the remuneration, right? Moving forward, we are going to the product market. A product market, this is a market for goods and services. It is where the final goods and services are sold to businesses and the public sector. Now, remember, in the product market, we are only focused, please note, focused on final goods and services. These are goods which are ready for consumption, not the intermediary goods, capital goods, such. Only on final goods, right? Goods that are ready for consumption. Okay, what is the financial market? A financial market, this just acts as an intermediary between firms that are willing to discuss financial, to trade financial, only focused on financial, right? Not goods and services. Not goods and services, right? Financial instruments, right? All the businesses, all firms which are willing to trade financial instruments, the financial market acts as an intermediary there. What are the examples, or what do I mean when I talk about financial instruments? Okay, financial instruments basically, here we're talking about bonds, equities, the various international currencies and derivatives. That is, those are financial instruments. Now, in the financial market, it's not a market for goods and services or whatsoever. It is a market of businesses which are willing to trade financial instruments, which are willing to trade bonds, which are willing to trade equities, which are willing to trade just different international currencies and derivatives, right? Let's go to the capital and the money markets. These are the easiest markets that you could ever find in the circular diagram. Okay, what is the capital market? The capital market, this is a market where now long-term debt, equity bought and sold. That's basically it. Long-term equities are bought and sold in the capital market, whereas in the money market, short-term equities are bought and sold. This basically is the difference, right? Capital market, long-term debt, equity, like securities are bought and sold. Money market, short-term debt is bought and sold. Basically it. Right, moving on. Flows in the economy, flows in the economy, right? The flows in the economy, we just talk about how the flows, how do these things flow? How does it all flow from one participant to another, from one firm to another, from one market to another? What is the flow, right? Now, this is basically just a simple just show of how a flow takes place, right? Between this point, between point A to point B, between point C to point D, how this shows a flow. right? Now, in the circular flow, we have got what we call a real flow. A real flow, this shows the flow of goods and services in an economy, right? The flow of goods and services in an economy, and also the flow of factors of production in an economy. That is basically the main role of the real flow, right? Represents the flow of goods and services in the economy and the flow of factors of production, right? The flow of goods and services in the economy together with the flow of factors of production, right? An example, goods and services, they flow from firms to the goods market, right? Remember, firms are participants. The goods market, also known as, remember, goods market is the product market. Do not get confused here. When we talk of the goods market, it is also known as the product market, also known as the market for goods and services, right? More like synonyms. Now, firms, they now, the goods and services, they flow from firms to the goods market. This shows an example of a real flow, and factors of production flow from households to the factor market, right? This is a real flow, right? This is just some examples. You will see them very well when we discuss the circular flow diagram in detail, right? Moving forward. What is the money flow, right? Remember, we discussing the flows in the circular flow diagram. We discussed the real flow. Now, talk of the money flow. It is self-explanatory. This shows the flow of money in the circular flow diagram. How does money flow in our circular flow diagram, right? Now, some examples. When firms buy factors of production. Now, you know very well here, the flow of money, it's gonna deal with when we are buying, wherever we buy, wherever we make payments, wherever we make earnings, right? This is just simple. Wherever there is buying, that is a money flow. Wherever we are buying, wherever we are paying, wherever the exchange of money is taking place, this is regarded as a money flow in the circular flow diagram, right? Some examples are when firms buy factors of production from the factor market, when households purchase goods and services from firms, exports to foreign countries, when bringing foreign earnings, that is money flow, payments for imports, money flow, right? Moving forward. Leakages and injections, right? What are injections? Injections, these are the additions in the circular flow diagram, right? The introduction of income into the flow. Injections in the circular flow diagram are regarded as additions in the circular flow diagram. Now, what are injections? What are injections? Right. Now, injection, it occurs when funds are added to an economy from a source other than households and businesses, right? Where now households are not regarded, where it is not a household, where it is not business, right? That is where now we call them injections. When funds are added to an economy, not from the business, and not from the household as regarded as an injection, right? Now, the main sources or the only sources of injections into the circular flow diagram, we talk of the government, right? Government spending, investment, and exports, right? Those are the sources of investment in our economy. Now you ask yourself, how are these things injections? Like how does the government spend and this be regarded as an injection, and how investment and injection, and how exports and injections? Okay, here is an example, or here is a definition, rather say an explanation. Investments, government spending, and exports, they increase an economy's aggregate demand, that is the total demand for our economy. And when the total demand of our economy increases, this will lead to a further increase in the level of income and the level of outputs in an economy. And as a result, we have more inflow of money, an increase in our income. That's why these three are regarded as injections, right? Going forward, let us go to leakages, right? What are leakages? Leakages, these are the withdrawals in the economy, right? Withdrawals, when money leaves, when money gets out of the economy, when we've got an increase, when we've got a contraction. In the circular flow diagram, it's a leakage, right? Now, what are the sources of leakages? Right, the main sources in the leakages in the circular flow diagram, we speak of savings, taxes, and imports. Now, taking a greater look in economics, a leakage will just simply just refer to capital or income that diverges from just some kind of iterative system, right? It is usually used in relation to a particular depiction of the flow of income within a system, right? Now, let us look at this other side of how the leakages end, right? Let us take right aside this side on how these leakages and these injections affect the national income, right? Right. Now, when our leakages, when our withdrawals from the circular flow diagram and our injections into the circular flow diagram are equal, we then have a balance in the circular flow diagram, right? Simply a balance in the circular flow diagram when the level of injections is equal to the level of withdrawals. We then have a balance in our circular flow diagram. Means now there is equity. Now, let us go. If our injections are now greater than, oh, that's a good start. If our injections are greater than our leakages, obviously we're gonna have a rise in our national income. Now, here is the sad part. Oh, what if now our injections now are less and our leakages are greater? Now, this is not a very good start for the economy. It will lead to a level of contracts in the national income, which is not good at all. Right. Moving forward, just this way, just the different effects. These are the formulas. Just simply SMT. This refers to savings plus imports plus taxes, right? All right, now moving forward. An open and closed economy. I think I've already highlighted these at the beginning. I've highlighted these at the beginning of our video while I was discussing the foreign sector as a participant in the economy. Right. Now, what is an open economy? Like I said, an open economy, this is an economy where now we are allowed to interact with the rest of the world. We are trading with other countries without any restriction. Now, this is a particular flow, circular flow diagram of an economy where the foreign sector is recognized, right? I mean, now we are taking the foreign sector into consideration. We are taking trade into consideration now with other countries, right? And trade does not only lie within the boundaries of the economy, within the boundaries of the country in this economy, right? Now, what is a closed economy? A closed economy is just the opposite of an open economy. Simply, we are not going to trade with any other countries, and trade is only going to take place within the boundaries of our country. That is when now we have a closed economy, right? Which is not good because, trade with other countries now just has a lot of advantages, like specialization and, right. Let us go forward. Now here we have a drawing of our circular flow diagram, right? Now you can look at the theory or the theory that we have gathered just before coming to this diagram and look at how they interact with one another. And now let's just look at a little example here. A little example here. Now, when households, right? Now, when households, what do? The households, they sell right here. Just look at this flow. Households are now selling their factors of production, labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurship. They are selling it to the factor market, right? Now what happens? The factor market is now taking those factors of production, to businesses, right? Great. Now, what are the businesses doing with those? Now, how are the businesses? They are going to buy those factors of production. They are going to produce goods and services, and they're going to sell those goods and services to the product markets. Now, what happens when the goods reach those product market? Going to then now sell those goods and services back to households. Right. This is the flow of goods, services, and factors of production. Right. What is that flow called? Right. Pause the video and guess. Right. Somebody might have got it correct. This flow is regarded to as the real flow, right? This is our real flow. Fantastic. Real flow. That is the flow of goods and services and factors of production, right? Now we go back again. So let's start again at households. Right now we are going to look at the money flow, right? Households, what are they going to do now? Huh? What's happening? Okay. Households, they spend, okay? Households, they spend in the product market to get these goods and services. Okay, moving forward. Now, when businesses now sell to the product market, when businesses sell the product market, they receive a revenue in return. They receive revenue in return for selling their goods and services to the product market. When the factor market sells factors of production, the businesses, it then in case costs, right? Costs, yeah. And when households sell their factors of production to the factor market, they then in return receive remuneration from labor, remuneration from land, capital, and entrepreneurship, where from entrepreneurship they get interest. From capital, they get, from entrepreneurship, sorry, they get profits. From capital, they get the interest. From land, they get rent, and labor, they get wages. Right, as simple as that. Now I've got a number of questions here, right? Got a number of questions here. You can just answer a few questions and see how you do the trick. Right. Thank you. I think that's all we've got for the day. That's all we've got for the day. Please don't forget to share with your friends.